Hi, and welcome to another video by Jim the Car Guy. Today we have a 2003, it's a Honda Civic with a 1.7 liter engine. Customer complaint is that the belts are squeaking. When they start the car up in the morning, they squeal like crazy. I can see that the belts are actually cracked pretty badly, and I will show you that as we get in there further. So let's get in there, let's get started. I'm going to show you how to do this job and take care of a very annoying type sound. Left untreated, of course, that belt is going to snap and you're going to have more of a problem. Alright, don't forget, subscribe to my channel. If you like what I'm doing, give me the thumbs up. Now let's get in there and let's get to work. Alright, basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be loosening up this bolt here. We're going to loosen this one here, as well as this bolt right down here. We're going to remove that one too, and we'll be able to release the belt. And then what we're going to do is we take off the wheel on this side over here, on the driver's side. We'll take the wheel off, and also removed this little cover that covers up the fan belts. And as you can see what kind of condition the belts are in. They're in pretty bad condition. So let's get that first belt off up on the top, and then we'll come back down here and we'll get this one off too. Okay, hopefully you'll be able to see exactly what I'm going to be doing in here. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we're going to loosen up this bolt right here. It's a 12 millimeter. You can just use a wrench to break this one loose. Sometimes they're pretty rusty. So we just loosen this up. A couple of turns, you don't have to take it out too far. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to that bolt that I showed you down here. That bolt down there, that 14 millimeter, well I'm sorry, 12 millimeter. And this power steering can come out of the way, just give you a little bit more room, and then we can get down to get to that bolt. Alright, that was going to be difficult to see, but hopefully you'll get the basic idea of what I'm going to do. We're going to get down in there with a ratchet. I like this flexible head ratchet because we can get on there pretty easily and just break it loose. Now you don't have to go crazy, you just have to loosen it a little bit. So you just loosen it a couple of times. Now what you're going to do is you're going to turn this piece here and release the tension on the belt. So you just spin it all the way out. Now obviously the belt is not releasing yet, but by releasing this bolt here, it's going to push down a lot easier. And what you do is just push on it and it goes down. Kind of rusty as they get older, so sometimes it doesn't move as easy as it's supposed to. So we just push that down. And then you take the belt and just remove it from the vehicle. And I'm going to hold it here and reach in through the side just to take it off the pulley. And we can take it off, and as you can see, this belt has got quite a bit of cracking taking place, but there's going to be a lot more cracking on the other belt for the AC. So, alright, let's lift the car up and I'll show you how to do that belt on that side. Okay, now obviously we have the wheel off and we have this cover down on the side right here. And to get in here, to get that to release, we're going to basically go in here. Okay. We'll get in here with a 12 millimeter. And once you loosen that up, then we're just going to reach in there and turn that piece, the wing nut type thing, to loosen it up. Just unscrew it quite a distance. I'll show you in a minute. I did spray it with penetrating oil, just so you know, so it turns a little bit easier, because as these get rusty and old, it makes it more difficult. But if it doesn't loosen, you can get in here with a pair of pliers and you can turn that wing nut to release it. Okay, now there's a bolt up on top of the alternator. It's hard to see, but it's right up on the top, right up here. It feels like it's about a 12 millimeter also. We have to loosen that bolt to get the alternator to swing down. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to see here. I'm going to try to get in there the best I can and show you. Okay, let's try to get up there. A lot of times with these, you can't even really see what you're doing. You have to go by feel, which is the case here. And then after you loosen that bolt a little bit, you can just pull down on the belt and the alternator moves down. And then you can take the fan belt off. And you just release it far enough to get the belt off. Okay. And then we just take the belt out, and as you can see, this belt is in pretty poor condition. You can see all the cracks in the belt. All right, let's grab the new belt and we'll put this back together. Now, whenever you change a belt, always make sure you match the new belt up with the old belt to make sure you have the correct one. All right, then we're going to lay the belt up on the alternator first, and then around the AC. And last, we're going to put it around the crankshaft. I just want to show you this. Before you start to tighten everything up, just make sure that the belt is in the pulley where it belongs, here and up in there. And then we can tighten up that bolt right back here. And we're going to take up the adjustment on the belt. So let me adjust that, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how tight it's supposed to be. Okay, now with the belt, you should have about a 1/4 inch play, like this. And we're going to go just a little bit tighter. Okay. Okay, now once you've got the belt tight, you should have between about 1/8 of an inch and a 1/4 inch of play in here. You want it fairly tight because this belt does squeak if it's not tight enough. So that looks pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tighten up that bolt up on top that you can't see. I think that was a 14 millimeter. So you have to go by feel again. To the top of the alternator. I'll tighten that bolt up. Nice and tight. Now we're going to tighten up that 12 millimeter. Alright, 12 millimeters tight. So our AC belt is now on and tight enough. It's the AC and actually the alternator. So that's nice and tight. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to lower the car back down, and we're going to put that power steering belt back on. Let's lower it down and we'll come right back. Again, before you try to put it back on, make sure you match your belt up that it's the correct size belt, because otherwise you're going to wind up killing yourself and it's not going to fit. All right? Now remember, we took it off down on the bottom, so we're just going to snake this down this way here, all the way down, and then we're going to reach in through the side of the wheel well, put the belt on, to the pulley down the bottom, and put it on here, and then we're going to adjust it. Bolt up. It's like a wing nut actually, and you tighten it up until you have about an eighth of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch slack in the belt. Nice and tight. I want to just point out you can use pliers on this too. You can just hold the bolt like this here and just turn it, and you can adjust it. But in this case it's tight enough so we don't have to. Next thing we're going to do is going to tighten up this bolt and that bolt down the bottom there. Now remember, this is our 12 millimeter here. Tighten that all the way up. Nice and tight. And then we'll tighten up our other 12 millimeter bolt down there. nice and tight. And last but not least, put our power steering reservoir back in its bracket. And then before we put that side cover on, we're going to start it, make sure everything looks good. Then, after you had it running, you just make sure your belts are on the pulleys the way it's supposed to be. You can see on the top as well as down on the bottom. And this side here, it's on perfectly just where it belongs. Everything is nice and tight, as it's supposed to be. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put that cover back on, put our wheel on, and that's it. We're going to wrap this job up and it's out the door. And that's it. Squeak is resolved. All right, well, thanks for watching. Any questions, any comments, drop me a line. Be more than happy to talk to you about anything. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.